Hey everyone, Trace here. Hey everyone, Trace here. Today I'm working on the blog design team color challenge, and the three colors that we can use is orange, pink, and brown. And it is quite a challenge, but it's still really fun to do. So I'm also going to be using the die set called Hot Air Balloon Clouds, and it's really fun. So what I'm going to do, this isn't glued down or anything, but this is basically what I'm going to be doing. So I tried out a few techniques because I wasn't sure exactly which one I wanted to go with. So I tried out a few of them, and I just wanted to show you exactly what I did. So there's three different kind of techniques here, and I'll show you how to do that. And I'm working on some Canson XL watercolor paper, and the difference that I found with that was this one here is on the Canson XL, and it's much thicker than just regular 65-pound cardstock, which is this one here. And because it's thicker, the embossing showed up a whole lot more on this one here than this one. So I'm going with the watercolor paper, and I'm using some Nuvo watercolor pencils. This is the Brilliantly Vibrant collection, and so I'm only using the pink, orange, and brown. I'm using a clouds embossing folder that I'll be using from Meme Medit are the Memory Lane, and I'm just using the trees here. So I liked having the trees at the bottom. It makes it look realistic, and so I'm using the trees here from that set. Also, my refuge, I will be using this one here. It says, "He will carry you," and I just felt that was so beautiful with a hot air balloon. And this one here is from Wings. I'll be using What Can Happen When You, and I think I'm going to do Soar. I did think of Take Flight, but I probably like the Soar better. Called The Name of Jesus, and this says Nothing is Impossible for, but I'm going to selectively ink that and just stamp Nothing is Impossible. So I'm going to pair those two together. And so I'm going to also use some craft colored cardstock, some scraps, and the actual card base is from some craft. And also a Nuvo Watercolor Brush, a water brush, and an ink blending tool. And I believe that is all. I know we're using quite a bit. And so let's jump right into it. So I started off with die cutting the hot air balloon, and I also die cut some of the clouds that are in the set as well. And I will most likely be using those inside the card, and they do have a little swirly embossing, which is really pretty. So like I said, I'm going to use those inside the card because my front has so much going on that it's just too much. So, but I love them and they're beautiful. I do want to use them in the card. So I'm going to just do this technique where it's just some kind of inking and swirling. And it's very simple because it has such really pretty embossing. I want to kind of follow these lines here, and it'll just kind of pick up that embossing really nicely. So I'm going to start with the spiced marmalade and pick up my little pad there, and I'm just going to start to ink. Now my first little sample, I just went a little too heavy-handed, so I'm going to do it a little more gently. And I'm just going to pick up some ink and possibly just dab it a little bit off, but it has a line right here. I want to kind of keep to this line of the design actually on here. So I just want to ink that section very gently, and I like that much better than the first one so far. So as you can see, it kind of follows along the design. Next I want to do the pink color, and I'm going to again do it a little bit more gently than I did my example here. So I'm just inking a little bit on the edge, taking just a smidge off and following along the pattern. And you can overlap the two colors slightly just to blend them a little bit more. And so I would never really kind of think of these colors together, but they kind of work, and it's really pretty. So it's fun. It's really fun to just kind of play around with colors and blending, putting together different colors. And so I like that. So I'm going to continue on and on with the different colors till the bottom, and I'm just going to do some brown with the vintage photo here, and do the basket and part of that there. And so I'll be right back. So I finished off this card using some vintage photo, and I just inked the edges all around, and it just kind of made the other colors pop a little bit more. So you can see the details, the embossing parts, and it's really cool. It almost looks a little tie-dyed to me. So that one was really fun. Next I'm going to do the watercoloring one. This was my sample, and I wasn't too thrilled with it. I just very detailed colored, everything in, and then I went over it with the water brush. But I'm going to try a little bit different technique with this one here. All I'm really going to do is just kind of scribble over the areas, probably where the design kind of stops and starts, and I just want to see if that makes any difference. But this one is really pretty. I just want to give it a little try on a different technique. So all I'm really doing, I'm just following the detail here. So I'm just going to go this first one and just kind of scribble on some color right at that very top. And it's a whole lot easier than this one here. I just kind of really took my time with it, but this one's going to be nice and quick. So that's basically all for that section. Then with the orange, I'm going to just kind of just scribble that first thing, and down the page I'm going to go, and then I'm going to watercolor that, and I'll be right back. So that finishes off this balloon. I went from this to this, and this one's so much better. So it's neat how we can improve on what we just did and say, okay, I can try something else. So and then the results are much better. So that's really fun. So we're going to go with this one here. Then my third technique is basically all I did was some Versamark ink, and I kind of drug it down the page here, and so I just kind of opened it up, and it was obviously white, so I just kind of drug it down. I'm going to try it actually on this one. I don't have any orange embossing powder, so I have to go with the pink. So this one's just on regular cardstock, so I'm gonna just basically, I just drug it down on the whole thing and covered it with embossing powder. Very gently touch it. So that's all I had. I wish I had an orange, but I just don't have the orange color, so I'm going with the pink. And spot here. And I also took a paintbrush, and I kind of took out some of the areas where I wanted some separation to be. So I just kind of did that. Basically that there. And then I just heat set it. and then it came out pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and heat that, and I'll be right back. So next I wanted to put some trees toward the bottom. So I knew I wanted to leave that part open without any clouds. So all I did was position my paper toward the bottom of the embossing folder, leaving an overlap of this section here. So I just kind of fit it in there, basically like that, and ran it through my Big Shot, leaving this area exposed. So that's how I did that there. So next I want to stamp the trees down. So I want to do each of mine a little bit differently. So this one here, my trees were in the center. I'm going to move over towards this side here for my trees. So I'm going to use some vintage photo and just ink up the tree. I'm going to use the small one towards the center and a little bit low, and then I will do my other ones a little bit higher. So I just basically inked that, very easy. And I'm staying with the brown to stay with the color challenge. Normally you'd probably do it in green, but the challenge is to use only those 3 colors and no other colors. So I'm just going to position these trees. I do have some clouds right here that I want to kind of stay away from a little bit. So that looks good. Just ink that. And so there's my trees. So next I am going to basically put it all together. First I'm going to go ahead and do some sentiments. I have some scrap craft paper here. I'm going to ink up some sentiments. Now for this one here, staying with the color challenge, I need to put some orange somewhere on the card. So I'm going to ink some of the sentiment in the orange, the spiced marmalade color. So I'm going to do some sentiments and be right back. So I am ready to assemble these 3 cards, and so this is basically what they will look like. This one here is "He Will Carry You," Isaiah 46:4. I'm going to lay it over here, and I'm going to cut that to the edge of there, and I'm going to position the balloon just about right there. And I put some clouds in there. So that's that one. This one here, I have the trees in the center, so I'm going to position it sideways. And this is "Nothing is Impossible," and I selectively took out the word "for." When I stamped that out, I just masked it over with some washi tape, so then it gave me that. And I'm going to position it across the balloon here, so that one there. And for the pink one, I had to put some orange here, so I put "What Can Happen When You," and on the inside it says "soar." So I'm just going to position this possibly in the center, roughly like that. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble all these and be right back. So this finishes off these 3 cards with the color challenge, and I did add some Wink of Stella to the orange parts. You can kind of see a little bit here. And so this is "Nothing is Impossible," and so that one's really pretty. And I added Wink of Stella to all of the clouds. And I know it's really hard to see on camera, but it sparkles so nice. And so this says "He Will Carry You," and some clouds in there. And the last one, it is already kind of shiny because of the heat embossing. So this says "What Can Happen When You," and it says "soar." So this was so much fun with the color challenge and the die cut for the hot air balloon. Give this a try. I hope you put that on my blog, any pictures in my Facebook page, Create Along with Trace. I would love to see what you guys create. And thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and ring the bell. All of that fun goodies. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a great day.